Hello everybody, welcome to this week's editions of Friday's Finds. We thought we'd talk a little bit about some embroidery/sewing machines today, seeing as February is National Embroidery Month and we're getting really close to February. With embroidery machines, it's really changed a lot since I started back in the 90s, and we've gone from hoops this big to hoops this big and even a little bit bigger. But the technology has also drastically changed for us too. And I just want to show you some of the neat features that you can actually get in the embroidery machines. So this here we're working on the Husqvarna Designer Epic 3. Okay. One of the neat features about this guy is that it has a built-in image recognition system for your presser foot. So it actually tells you if you have the wrong foot on. So for example, okay, up here it's got, it says a warning. I have a foot on and I don't have, and my ID system is engaged, okay, for what I'm doing. It's not quite set right. Okay, but what I really want to emphasize is, say I was setting it up to do a zigzag. Now I have a straight stitch foot on here, right? Okay, and it cannot sew without causing a problem and damaging the needle if I was to do a zigzag with a straight stitch foot on. So I have this big red lineup up here. Hey, you have your 1/4 inch foot for the IDF system on. What are you trying to do? Okay, and it recognizes what foot I have on. So I remove the foot and it updates to, hey, you have no presser foot on. You cannot sew with no presser foot on if you want quality sewing. Okay. Now I'm going to put on my regular zigzag presser foot on, and it goes away and says, hey, you know what? We have no more red on your screen. You're good to start sewing. Okay. Some of the other fun features, I'm just using this for a white background so you can see, we now have digital projection in several of the machines. Not just the Epic 3, we have them in different brands and in different variability, but I just want to give you a little preview of what it is. So let's darken the screen down a little bit for it, and that bigger. I want to go to change that grid color to, maybe let's go to lighter color so you can see the white showing up with a grid, and I can change the size of my grid. I also have a red laser guide tour on a different setting, so if we apply that one, and then I can close my grid and go to my stitch guide. Okay, I've got it as a red light. I can increase the width of that so that it shows up a little bit better there for me. Okay.
And I thought you can make that bigger.
Yeah, I can. You see how I'm just making the screen bigger? I can also move it around if I want to look at different things on my screen in different areas. Okay, so it's really nice that you can expand it in, expand it out, take a look at different things. You can add a second grid laser line on here. I've got now an angled one. I'm just going to turn my grid off so you can see just the red laser line and the white laser line at a 45-degree angle from each other. Okay, really handy for sewing half-square triangles, an example, without having to do all the markings and things like that. The grid also helps you to keep things square when you're sewing down the side. You can expand the grid out to bigger squares or smaller squares, depending on the size of what you're doing. Lots of tools built into the machine to help you function. The laser guide, one of the best things I use it for is actually when I'm paper piecing, because that red laser, which on this version you can change the color of your guide. On lower levels it's just a red laser. Doing your paper piecing, that red laser sitting on your black line, it just disappears into the black. But as soon as you veer a little to the left or a little to the right, you got a big bright red line showing up saying, hey, you're veering, you're changing directions, stay straight. Okay, so that's projection, and that's also in embroidery mode side. So in the embroidery mode side, I can actually project my designs down onto the fabric. So say I had hooped up this here, it says Husqvarna Designer Epic 3, but say I went, oh, you know what, I really wanted to put something in the middle here. I can hoop this back up, okay, and then I can put in what I want to stitch out there and project it down and then move the hoop until I have it visually right where I want to see. So I'm no longer trying to guess and test and doing that little trace square and hoping that I got it quite right. I can also, if that's in a little bit crooked, okay, rather than have to re-hoop back to square, I can just adjust my angle by a degree at a time on the screen of the machine until it lines up with my projector exactly where I want it to be. We have lots of different embroidery machines, starting fairly inexpensive and going up to ludicrous prices, and everything in between. We also have several trade-in machines at varying sizes and varying levels for all markets and all budgets. That's it for this week's editions of Friday Finds. Have a great weekend.